Hi guys, so imagine you're walking in the middle of the forest, just enjoying that beautiful scenery. Then all of a sudden, you see a plane. Yes, a plane. Tell me that one thought. Oh, maybe this is an identified plane crash that happened many years ago. Or, guys, stop thinking too much, because Phoebe is here to give you all the information that you really want to hear. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please, what are you waiting for? For all my subscribers, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. So guys, welcome to the show. Taking an airplane and converting it into a home was by no means going to be an easy task for Bruce Campbell. There were so many different obstacles in his way. Who said that it will be easy or worth it to transform the Boeing 727 into a home that will accommodate his needs? Bruce used to be an electric engineer, but he's now retired. It is believed that airplanes have much potential than their intended use. But with his really good imagination, he has used an old plane which would have been turned into scrap metal and a piece of land into creating the most unique abode on Earth. So guys, let's take a peek inside it. Bruce Campbell is now 68 years old, but he never lost his creative vision. Back when he was still in his 20s, he bought a piece of land which measures 10 acres in Hillsboro, Oregon for 23,000 sterling. His initial plan for the land he bought was to build himself a home out of a few freight vans. At first, the plan had sounded wonderful and innovative to him, but then he got wind of a home another person built. 20 years later, he found out about Mississippi native Joanne Assery, a hairdresser who purchased a Boeing 727 plane, which she converted into a home. She used to have a regular house, but it burnt down. Thus, she chose to construct an airplane home that is functional and located beside a peaceful lakeside. Bruce had already started putting his plan of building a home out of freight vans into action, but he realized that it was more innovative to use a gigantic plane. However, he needed money to purchase and transport a plane to Oregon. Back in 1999, he decided to buy a Boeing 727 aircraft. He purchased one for 100,000 sterling from Olympic Airways, which was based at Athens Airport, and once he obtained the plane, he had to transport it to Oregon. Moving the plane from Athens to Greece to the woods in Oregon turned out to be the task which is the most challenging out of the whole venture. Arranging for its move and everything else costed him another 120,000 sterling, bringing him to 220,000 sterling in total. Being quite an industrious man, he was excited to start working on his project. However, he needed to move his Boeing deep into the Oregon woods, and thereby, several men needed to take apart the plane's wings so that he could move it to the secluded forest. The wings had to be deconstructed in such a manner that he would still be able to reinstall the parts once they finished packing the airliner in its new place. For several years, Campbell put in a lot of work on the fuselage while residing in the nearby freight vans. After some time, however, the mice infested the van. Campbell had no choice but to stay in the aircraft instead. Although he never came up with any plans for the Boeing 727's interior, as soon as he moved in, everything became very clear to him. Every 2 years, the Boeing 727 exterior needs washing. Bruce Campbell needs ladders to gain access to the plane's top portion and the engine. It could actually be quite dangerous to wash his beloved home because he might fall or the water hose might swing unexpectedly. This fact makes him nervous. However, when you see the result of the things he did with the airline, you will see why everything is worth it. Certainly, similar to a castle, Campbell bolstered up his massive passenger Boeing 727 airliner with concrete pillars and installed a driveway of his aircraft home just outside Oregon. Nevertheless, he also updated things by modifying and restoring the aircraft's exterior to make sure it is fit for daily living. The shower may be makeshift and something he built himself, but he also worked to restore some of the original features such as the flight stairs, LED lighting, airplane-style lavatory, and part of the seating which originally came with the airliner. As people enter Campbell's jetliner home, they have to use the aircraft's fold-down stairwell pretty much like they would have done when the Boeing 727 was still used by the people. At the front area of the plane, there is a shoe rack that is filled with many pairs of slippers which are ready for visitors to use when Campbell welcomes them to his home. Having seen the glass floor getting dirty quickly due to the surrounding forest, he always takes to his sock or slipper roll to make sure that the airplane stays in pristine condition. He himself wears socks and slippers to move about in his rather unique airplane home. There are actually 2 original working lavatories on the aircraft, but the coolest feature will have to be the shower that Campbell constructed near the plane's tail. He constructed it here in order to have access to running water on the plane and have electricity for heating up the water. The cockpit of his Boeing 727 still features all the original instruments. He has converted the space into an entertainment area where he also does his reading. Campbell can be seen aboard the plane almost all day doing some work on a computer at his very own station. In addition to constructing his very own system for running water, Campbell also repairs the lighting inside the plane and outside it. He doesn't have to worry about possible power cuts in his plane. He mows the grass once a week and also picks up all the weeds underneath the airplane to make sure that the area is presentable always. His Boeing 727 is not able to weather a storm. It is also relatively easy to clean and maintain. The interior is easy to keep immaculately clean because they are sealed pressure canisters. Some people may be unwilling to live on an airliner due to the lack of supplies and amenities, but Bruce Campbell is not the case since the city isn't far from where he lives. Campbell kitchenette is fully stocked with practically all he needs. Taking out his Boeing 727 for a test flight might be impossible for Campbell to do, but the rows of preserved seats in his home still gives that feeling. Only a few of the seats are left because most have been taken out to give him space to live in and move around. Campbell adores spending time in his plane's cockpit area. It is where he gets his creative juices flowing, given a chance to imagine what a pilot feels during a flight. Campbell isn't marooned on an island, nor is he isolated from civilization. This means he still showers, shaves, brushes teeth on a daily basis just like any other person. It might surprise you to learn that Bruce Campbell resides in his aircraft home for only 6 months each year. He prefers having a change of scenery, thus for the other 6 months of the year, Campbell lives in Japan. He plans to duplicate his project once more, but this time around it's going to be Japan with a bigger airplane. Tourists and curious onlookers can stop by and have a tour inside his abode because he's glad to let them do so. Since he gets quite a few visitors dropping by to have a tour of his awesome Boeing 727, some awkward moments have occurred. There was one time when Campbell had been taking a shower and few onlookers walked into his home. He loves his unconventional home, which somehow explains why he thinks the traditional concept behind love and marriage is a limiting as a mortgage. On the other hand, he is quite close to his neighbors who support the things he does and completely believes in the vision he has. Once more, his outspoken ambition certainly wasn't deterred by his modest life. This brings us to his next project, which is in the works at present.